All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining the August installment of WebTips presented here by Clear Process Solutions. I will be your host today. My name is Tim Dempsey. So let's get started. So just some housekeeping before we begin. All the attendees will be on mute just so the presentation can continue. If you have any questions though, please just type them in during the presentation and we would like to address them there. We want to build this as more of a discussion based rather than just a presentation and build a dialogue. So if you have any questions, feel free to add them in at any time, but we'll also have a questions segment at the end. So just a little bit about myself before we begin. My name is Tim Dempsey. I'm a developer here at Clear Process Solutions. For over the past 4 years, my main focus has been creating solutions and systems within the Winshuttle space, mainly Composer and Workflow, also with query and transaction. Previously, before this, I've been working within SharePoint and InfoPath forms and workflows, from site designs and anything in between project related. I'm passionate about just creating a seamless user experience and overall ecosystem for your processes. You may have seen me on my previous web tips with the importance of naming conventions, as well as constructing parent and child form processes. So just a quick agenda for today. We're going to be discussing change requests, but also just some tips and techniques and ideas that you may want to implement in your next Composer solution. So today we'll go somewhat like this. We'll walk through some of the problems, some solutions. These will be in the form of videos, and then from there we'll dive into Composer as well as the form, so you get a chance to see an example of one of our change requests, as well as some of the techniques we use to build those. Why are we all here today, right? We want to improve, we want to learn, as well as save time and in the short term and long term, as well as improve our manageability of these solutions. Not just if you're developing it, but for anyone in the future. So let's kick it off with a real world scenario. The best way I found that we can learn is if we just dive right in. So rather than just telling you some things, which I will, I really hope that we can make this as interactive as we can. So if you put our shoes into a real life project, we may be able to retain this a little bit better. So our goal today is to create a standard form and workflow system for customer change request process. Well, we're not going to go full ad nauseum into building this. We'll be able to have it built and show you some of the things built into it. Our main focus is we want to identify and track all of the changes, all of the existing values, as well as the values that we're pushing to SAP, right? So we have 3 data sets. We want to make sure that we can maintain these. We want to make sure that they're easy identifiable, and we really reduce that hunting for them. So if we kick off our Composer solution, right, we have a blank canvas and we have some fields. Now, like many of you have started to create these, it can be very tedious to start beginning creating a field for all of these fields that we need for our solution, right? These can go up into the hundreds, and if we just do these manually, it's going to be a lot of effort and time consuming. There's got to be another way. Another possibility is, hey, let's just have the script create them for us, right? But the problem with this is, out of the box, they typically add an _1 after each one of our script fields if it's already existing into the solution. So let's say, for example, I've already uploaded one for an existing SAP field, and the country key field is named the same in the second script. How they differentiate it is adding an _1, but this can be very difficult to find and sift through and sort and search within a solution, which is it's just wasting time and effort where we can be spending more time to do the things that we're tasked to do. So one way we can solve this is before we even get to Composer, we actually start within the script. So what we have here is we actually build in our field forms right inside the script. We want to focus on this description field. This is like our label field within Composer. Many of you have probably seen these are SAP fields on the right. But we can really save a lot of time up front and effort just by updating these fields within Studio. Now, I'm sure many of you already have a conventional naming convention, but for this case and for our solution, we're going to go with an F_existing, F_change, F_SAP. Having these built in beforehand as a prefix really allows for searchability and finding these much faster. So if we would continue to build down, we would add these before each field, and then we move into Composer. So we move back, so from here we move into our field mapping screen. And just for you guys today, I've pre-recorded these for this specific web tips. So here we're adding in our script, providing a group name for it. Now I may fast forward here a little bit if this isn't too long. Okay, I'll fast forward a bit. Okay, and we see our fields populate. So now when this is imported, our fields are already created and built in for us. We no longer have to start adding them manually. We no longer have to deal with the _1s, or if there's even 3, it'll add another _1, and trying to find those can be menacing at times. So we want to make sure that we do as much upfront work as we can, and that's going to save us in the long term. So this is just one way. It can really make your life easier. It can really make your team's life easier when, if someone is also going to be helping or assisting in the future or maintaining it later on. Just from this screen here, and I'll show you guys later on, we can just do a control find for name field, and all of those name fields will populate for us, and so on. So the next thing I'd like to show you is actually just dive right into Composer. Some of these are going to be tips, so some of them are just ideas from a user experience standpoint, as well as when you're developing just different ways that that can improve your overall experience. Oh, going back here. Getting ahead of myself. All right. So let me just find this in the taskbar here. So for today, I built this solution for everyone here who's attended. So thank you guys again. You guys could be anywhere, but you're here. So we're just going to walk through this form. And this is very similar to how we built one already that's live in production. And so to show you guys how, just walking through the form, different areas that we're going to be going into for Composer, and we'll see how these techniques actually work. So if I do a quick search, we find some of our customers, and let me just pick this one right here, number 2. And we see here we have our selected customer. We can add any other fields there that may be helpful. If we scroll down here, we can easily see what we currently have. We also have the fields that we can edit if we would like to change. So let's just say CPS, digital transformation, we're going to make us transformationers. If I tab off, we have a nice highlight feature. So just at a glance, I'd be able to see what these are. And then if we move down here, we might have a partner section. So if you want to add more partners or delete partners, that's a very common thing that we see every day. So if here we would have, okay, well, maybe we want to delete this one. Take note of this checkbox here. And then let's just say we want to add a new one. So we'll go into head. We have our rules allowing us to enter in data here based on our action value. So we'll say WEBtips 2019, and we'll give 55555. So you can see here this box is checked. So as you can see, this is just a very condensed form. There's typically more groups and fields involved, but for today's purposes, we're just going to dive into these two areas. So if we would just want to make these edits, we would go here and click submit, right? So that would usually route into our workflow. And this may be helpful as well. A lot of times we'll have our SAP, what we upload to SAP towards the bottom in case there's any troubleshooting to do. So here we have our number field, our name field, all of our address fields. We can see here that what we're going to be uploading is the change field. So we populate these because there was a change found. And we see here we have our updated partners. So we no longer see maybe you LLC, number one. We see our 2, 3s, 4s, and 5s. So this is just a very base level of some possible changes we could have in our change requests. Here's just a design that we've used that has worked very well for us and has helped us. Now I want to show you some of the techniques and tips that we've done within Composer to get there. So as you can see here on our left, right, we have our existing, we have our change, and we have our SAP. These are all the same, similar values, but our naming convention makes it a little bit easier for us to wield these whenever we need to develop and build within our space. So just like the highlight earlier, we just have a rule on here that if the change is not equal to the existing, then we'll just highlight the background area. So this is just one tip or idea that at a glance has helped many of our clients. And then our other item here is, our other item here is one that it's maybe not commonly used, but it can be used in these for this specific scenario. So one area is this is a copy like rows rule, and we'll dive into this rule here in a bit. But if this field is checked, then we can send those values to another table just with the rule. So it saves us from writing any custom JavaScripts for any for loops. If we can build it into a wizard rule, we're going to do it. So how we get to that rule is, typically a lot of times these submit buttons will have many rules, right? So we'll have to do some functions to evaluate some data or format some name fields or set some flag fields for the workflow. But just for here, we just have this one rule, and one that has helped for organization as well as managing the overall rules is this execute rules for field. So now we've actually unloaded all of these fields to set the change to the SAP fields all on one field, and we just set the rule to execute the rule on those fields. So now we would be rather than have a script or a laundry list of all of these different rules on our submit, we can just have one which calls all of our SAP fields. So let's go and see what this SAP trigger field has. So now, as you can see, we have all, we're going to set our SAP fields right before we submit, because we want to ensure that we have all the changes at that time. Typically, if there's a change, we could do it in real time, but we ensure that we have all of the changes if we do it on submit. So we add all of our rules right onto the field, and then here is this copy like rows rule. So if we open this up, here's how we can build this rule. So we have our our source repeating content. We have the field that is our Boolean. Remember, if we go back, we noted that this Boolean field is important, and it is, because if it's checked, then we're going to send it over to our other repeating table. If it's unchecked, it won't. So that's how we can manage what's going to be sent into SAP. The two repeating content is just our destination. So we have source, destination, and our trigger field. And then just here is our how we connect the two. So this is our new underscore. This is the prefix we add before each field. So remember this new underscore, because I'll show you how this looks within your form data tree. So the group name, it doesn't matter. What matters though is just the field name. So the group name is just defined at that source and destination level. And then the prefix new underscore, this is how we write to those fields. So we see here, these are the same name fields, just with the new underscore beforehand. And if we can always hide this SAP field as well. Many times we just want to see what partners we're adding in. But if we can always show this as well and then make this enabled too. Well, let's go back to our presentation here. So let's do a quick recap. So today we walked through how editing the fields within our script can really save us time, not only in the short term by uploading manual fields. We can also just upload them from our script and have the script create the fields for us. We also saw how we can highlight fields, which helps our user really at a glance see what the changes are when they open up the form. We also walked through how copy like rows rule can help us send fields, similar fields with updates from one repeating table to another. And I also showed you guys how the execute rule fields can really help manage the rules where they're going to be executed. So rather than have all of those all on one rule with everything else, we added it really into a file folder, and which is our SAP trigger field, and we can manage those from there. So I hope these can help. Maybe not within a change request, but definitely in any composer solution moving forward. We really use these regularly and save as much effort and time up front as much as we can. And while this is very change request specific, they apply to all. Well, that's all I had for today. I hope that these can help you in the future. So see if we have any questions. All right, well, no questions, but so I hope you guys are alive out there. Thank you guys for joining as well. If we're gonna, oh, we do have one, maybe, no, chat, okay. Oh, thank you, Mark. And so that concludes it for the presentation. I just want to share with you guys some of these events as well. We have a Lean Utopia event coming up on September 19th. October 24th, so right before Halloween. We do a deep dive into the digital process transformation. It's coming, it's here, it's been here. So let's talk more about it. And then next month, we'll have another WebTips on the 19th. And this one's going to be about the landing page setup and some other tips. So a lot of times, just to quickly to unpack that, a landing page may be for if you have a modular type of system where you have smaller solutions to do specific things. You really can just add these into one solution to launch those smaller solutions. So this one's going to be a really good one to attend. And once again, you can always email us at info.clearprosolutions for any more topics or just a general question. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, go to our YouTube channel. Just type in Clear Process Solutions and they'll pop up right up. And as our final slide here, we have just some solution care opportunities. Anything really Winshuttle related or Click related, from processes to services, infrastructure, and everything in between. Let's build a relationship and let's discuss more about how we can really work together in this space. I want to thank you everyone again for attending. These are really fun for us. We really look forward to them and sharing this knowledge and just really having more of a discussion about development within the Winshuttle space. I hope to see you guys next month, and thank you again. Have a good day.